Hello, my beautiful friends, and welcome back to Alien Protocols. You know, we are obviously in the ongoing process of disclosure. And it's very exciting after half a century and more of lies, obfuscation, very brutal tactics, and much more. You know, personally, I believe that the release of the DoD videos was the beginning of disclosure, and it's going to be an ongoing process of conditioning. But although humans like to think, and especially the U.S. government, people within it, I'm sure would like to think that they are the ones who initiated disclosure, but it's really the others, the watchers, the visitors, who have really initiated disclosure by taking this new trend in sightings to a whole new level. The consistent fleets, the consistent military interactions, the daily incursions of lots of craft. It's to the point of undeniability now. So there are a few things that, although disclosure is in an ongoing process, there are some things that the government will never admit to and never reveal. Incidents and information. And I've got a little list of some of those. I have a very, very high certainty about these 8. I wrote down about 20, and I culled the list down to this because these are the ones that I have the most information on and the most reasons to believe that these are true. So, number 1 being the shoot-down programs. There's more than the Peru shoot-down program, and there's also programs that are not localized at one location, that they're larger than that. And there's also several different policies, UFO policies, towards shoot-downs, which I think is very tragic for a bunch of different reasons. Number 2 would be another thing that the government will never admit to, is the recovered biologicals. Now, there have been a wide variety of biologicals recovered. It's more than 1 or 2. There's been more than 1 or 2 craft recovered. And there's also an ethical dilemma about whether the craft themselves are so intelligent that they are conscious, and that whether shooting them down is a very ethically vacant idea. So the recovered biologicals is another thing that they're not going to want to admit to. And in keeping with that, another thing that they would not want to admit to is the killing of biologicals. There's a tremendous amount of very high-end, very excellent witnesses. Mostly the ones I'm considering are the ones from the military that have corroboration and multiple different witnesses saying, yes, this has happened. So it's not just, for me, I think it's not just horrific that there's killing of these biologicals, even if they are second-generation life forms, meaning that they're created by another life form for specific purposes. There also has been torturing of these beings. And, I put the torturing kind of in quotes because it wasn't like intentional waterboarding, but they knew they were putting them through some very, very uncomfortable situations. And the same is true in their study of these biologicals, how they have been mistreated. I don't think the government will ever admit to that aspect. Another thing I don't believe that they will admit to is the recovering of UFOs from other countries without those countries' permission. I'm thinking of a few incidents in Europe and also in South America. The U.S. technology to track these craft entering the atmosphere and where they go is superior to any other country, except maybe now rivaled by China. And there are teams stationed around the world to recover specifically not just any artifact from space, but these craft. We also know from the Victor Viggiani documents that he got released by the government and they were NORAD documents that talk about tracks of interest, unknown tracks, and intercepted tracks. It's very difficult to intercept a meteorite. And it was discovered that NORAD has several different bases with guys ready to cha-cha at any moment and go and intercept these craft that are entering the atmosphere in a more obvious way. And also intercept craft that are flying around on the surface as well. These groups have recovered them. I'll say one of them was in Colombia. Another thing the U.S. will not want to admit to is the disappeared and dead soldiers, not just of the United States, but also Russia and China. Some of these soldiers have been killed in incredibly bizarre ways. There's a very good story about Russian troops getting deconstructed and reconstructed. There's also these human body, just the skins hanging from some trees in South America after some very aggressive action initially by the humans. There's a lot of very interesting stuff about the disappeared and dead US, China, and Russian soldiers. There also has been recovered handheld new technologies. Some of these are sensor devices, multi-devices, medical devices, and weapons. These have been recovered, and I don't believe that anytime soon we're going to be getting an admission about that from the government. Also, the weapons that have been engineered from ET technology. I don't think we're going to get that info anytime soon. And there's a few others, but I think they're not going to admit to any bases on Earth and in our solar system. And admit to past knowledge of such things. So that's it. What else do you think the government will never admit to about UFOs? Much love.